All right, I think we're live. I think we are live. What's up, guys? Good morning. Right on. Conrad, what's up? Conrad, were you the one that told me to call it crypto and coffee? Because I did. Show me the money. Well, Charlie, if you're in the private group, that ONT trade is banging right now. It's looking great. That happened fast, too. That was exciting. Jordy, you got to go. You got to go. Go. Get. Thank you. I'm not petting you right now. My dog's trying to get me to pet him right now. So, I got my Dawson's Creek mug ready to go today, guys. If you've been around here, you know about the Dawson's Creek mug, so it means today's going to be a good day. Pretty much. I'm finally back from Chicago. It was an amazing weekend. Met a lot of awesome people within the industry. Made a lot of good contacts, and yeah, I got some good sleep last night too. So I'm ready to go. I am ready to go, folks. So I'm gonna take requests today. Um, Also, I have to remember this time not to keep my face up during the first 10 minutes of the stream. When I actually go to start charting, we'll let a couple more people get in here. But yeah, I'm gonna try not to do that this time. So we're gonna do a full comprehensive market review today. So yeah, get your requests in. I believe I have some already. I just got to check my notifications on Twitter. Yeah, well, let's look at EOS. I was actually looking at going long on EOS. Um, Let me see here. I should probably have like a list or something. All right, the wife's gone. She went to work. Good shit. Now we can play. Somebody requested. Oh man, I got a lot of notifications. My Twitter is blowing up. Let me go to my original post from last night. One second, guys. All right. Here we go. Holy Joe Cool with the request. Goodness gracious. All right. Strat. Yeah, I haven't looked at Strat in a while. Metal. Tron. Verge. Civic. Couple of shit coins in there and Air. I don't. That's not AirSwap. AirSwap's AST, I believe. Yeah, we gotta do EOS. Yeah, we're gonna do ICX, Neo, and ADUB just by default. Poly, yeah, we gotta do Poly. Is it lagging for you guys? Yeah, we'll do ADA, Litecoin for sure. Litecoin's gonna be one of the main, like one of the early ones we do. I'm actually liking Litecoin's price action right now for the first time in a while. Um, Neo, obviously. So what we're looking at right now, guys, let me know if it's lagging. So EOS, you say April 10th versus 8 26. Storm. Oh shit, I haven't looked at Storm in a minute. Last mini all season though. Storm was amazing for us. No lag here. Okay, cool. Make sure my encoder's not. We good. All right. For best results, guys, make sure I say this every time, but make sure you go to the settings and put it on HD. Daddy's pumping out 1080p 60 frames per second. So again, if you've been around here for a while, my dog only chews his bone when I'm on stream, and now he's chewing his bone. Come on, dude. Hey, come on. You're messing with my audio here. All right. All right, before I get to these charts, I have to do something here. There we go. That's about the right size right there, right? I'm just kidding. Let's do it here. All right. We are ready to go. So thanks you guys for joining. Let's get to work. Let's go to Bitcoin. Hello. God, my computer's being so slow right now. Please don't do this to me. I'll close down Discord and Telegram. I need to clean my computer. I don't know how though. It's a lot of green for a Monday, man. So, one thing I noticed yesterday, and I hope you guys saw this too. All right, we'll look at shorts versus longs. There are 7,132 more shorts than 7,100 more shorts than longs. Jordy, no more. You're not chewing your bone right now. Sorry. Don't chew your bone. Go lay down. Fucking with my stream, boy. So there's 7,000 more shorts than longs. There's not a lot to say about that. We still have, if we can get to some certain levels. The only thing is that on Bitfinex, like, and I guess I hadn't thought about this. The shorts were over. Hey, no more. Shorts were over leveraged. Give me that bone. It's going under the couch. Sorry, bud. Shorts were over leveraged. So that's how you can, that's how you can know that if any buying pressure at all, once you see that one side is over leveraged, there's not a lot of sellers left anymore. They've already leveraged themselves. That's how you can get the slow creep up the chart. And I think that's a lot of what we've gotten. Now, we're looking at Bitfinex shorts. Yes, it can be a representative of the open shorts in the market. And if you include Bitfinex or BitMEX being 40% of the trading volume for Bitcoin market wide, then and people can use more than 3.3x leverage on BitMEX, and because they can only use 3.3x leverage on Bitfinex. So Bitfinex shorts probably haven't gotten liquidated yet or squeezed. Like their liquidation price is going to be much higher. But hopefully we can use this as a proxy for where the Bitfinex or BitMEX shorts are. The average leverage used on BitMEX is like 8.8x leverage, I believe, and so that's like less than $1,000 of wiggle room between your entry and liquidation price. So that could have been a lot of what pushed us up, but we haven't gotten to those Bitfinex shorts quite yet. So there's still room for upwards movement. Now, if we look at this daily candle from yesterday, this was what amounts to almost like a bullish hammer, and that's really good buying pressure. We held the 20-day EMA for the third day in a row, so that's good. I don't want to lose this 20-day EMA. 20-day EMA is in the low 6,600s, so we're holding that so far. Now, if we fib from the top of the 8,500 swing to the low after that around 5850-ish, we are caught in between the 236 and the 382. Now, I had told you guys, and we finally got over it, the 236 is a bitch to get over. If you look at all this price action right here, again, this is just rehashing what we've talked about before to remind you guys. But if you look at all this price action around this 236, we could never close back above with a confirmed close, meaning he got his other bone out. Anybody want a free dog? But we finally got up here and confirmed it. So we should start to begin to move away from this. So there's a couple areas that I am looking at. This kind of confluence, it's like the same shit. This confluence of kind of this 50 moving average on the daily and this 382 zone up here, right around here. Now everybody, I hear people talking about if we get above 6,800 and stuff, or 6,850 is like major resistance, and yeah, but this daily 50 moving average is no joke to get over, and that's going to provide key resistance. So it's better if you just put kind of like this green block here around a zone of resistance. You have your 382 at 6870-ish. Let me make sure this is 100% correct. There we go. 6480-ish, somewhere around there. 6865, I'm sorry. So like right around the 6865, but then you have your 50-day moving average above. So it's important to have moving averages, because if you go back to this entire drop, this whole bull market, and you look at how price reacts to the moving averages, like it bounced off here, right? Rode it up, bounced off the 50, and then had lost the 20-day EMA all the way down. Bounced off here, finally put in a higher low. We had an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Tried to respect it with almost a bullish hammer reversal on the 20-day EMA. Try to bounce off the 50. So there's like levels of this shit. Well, what's up next? The next is the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin. After that, there's two more levels I'm going to be looking at, right? It's going to be the 0.5 fib, because the 0.5 fib of any mega drop like this is also a bitch to get over. There's two hard areas to get over after a big drop. It's going to be the 236, already went through that, and then it's going to be the 0.5. So this is going to be, I don't want to say a battle because that sounds super bearish, but it's going to be some work, right? So you got to get to kind of out of this 6860 to 6950 zone. And then you have that round number of 7,000 right there. But this kind of block right here with the 50 moving average, I would expect to bounce off at first try. And then after that, this 0.5 fib. And if you look at the 0.5 fib, you're also going to have kind of this horizontal. It's not much, but it's something. And it matches up perfect with it. It's like 7170, guys. 7180 is going to be a major resistance. And then after that, the last part you can even begin to let yourself think about right now is the 200-day moving average. It's 78.98 right now. We'll call it 7,900. Don't even start thinking 10K. Don't start thinking bull reversal in the entire market or in a new bull market or anything like that. You're not allowed to think about that shit right now. It's getting through this 6860 to 6950 area. Up next is going to be 7174, 7170-ish. That should provide a really good shorting opportunity. You can treat it as a scalp to begin, and then if you want to take some profit, put a break-even stop. That'll up your entry. That'll put you into profit. You can do that. Don't use a ton of leverage. As always, don't get wrecked. Stop trying to get rich quick. You'll get rich quick. But yeah, this should you could do some short scalping at like the 69.50 area around that daily moving average. But a better short, I think, would be at the 0.5 fib around 71.70. And you might even be able to get it back down to either this trend line. This trend line will make sense if I go to the 4-hour. This orange trend line here. This was the trend line of the ascending triangle. So this resistance has been successfully retested so far. This zone was like 66.50. Got over it. Come back. We've retested the 20 EMA is propping us up on the 4-hour. and maybe we hit that zero point 0.5 fib, and I think the trend line should be safe, but the 382 at 68.65 should also be pretty safe. And then that would equal a turn of resistance at that 382 fib to support. See if we retest it. You should be able to get a solid move out of that. After that, by all means, you should be able to short the daily 200 moving average at 78.98 currently. That with this upward buying pressure after all that downward selling pressure from the drops from 8,500 and even this entire bear market, that would have brought down the 200 moving average, kind of have a negative slope on it, a downward slope on the daily 200 moving average. This upwards buying pressure that we've had should even it out. It should stick somewhere right around 7,900, 78.80 maybe by the time we get it. It shouldn't change like too much. So you can start ballparking that estimate. In terms of going long, if you're looking at this ascending triangle, right, I'm hesitant to, we'll make it yellow so you guys can see it. I'm hesitant to fib from the bottom of, I am and I'm not, of this drop. Because if you come back, like, yeah, we wicked all the way up there, and so is that completely accurate? It's not really, but we do have this horizontal area up here that I had drawn just on the daily chart that it wicked to and died at. There wasn't a ton of liquidity or anything up there or orders taken. But if we are to fib the move, we came back to the 618. 618s go to 382s. What happened there to determine the trend? Well, we got over the 382, and now we got to get past this 236, 68, 44-ish. Like there's just a big zone of resistance up here. So we'll see what happens. In terms of going long, you can. I would probably, I mean, I like riding the 20 EMA. Oh, gosh. Here's the thing, man. I mean, you could put your stops in two zones if you want to go long right now. We're at 66.86. So losing the 236 is game over. It's done. Like, no thanks. Moves over, in my opinion. If we lose the 236 again, it's toast. 64.82. Don't want to lose it. See you in hell if we do. I don't want to lose that again. If you have a large tolerance for risk, there's a couple ways that 64.82, and again, it'd have to be on like a 4-hour close or 2 4-hour closes, or if you're a hard ass, you could do a daily close, candle close. And just to show you guys, how would you do that? You would draw a horizontal line on TradingView at the level that you want. So the 236, okay, right there. You would come up to this bar here, hit the add alert, the little alarm clock, or you could right click on that and hit add alert on trend line. Make sure it is less than, and then once per bar close. Make sure you're on the 4-hour if you want it to be a 4-hour candle close. If it's a daily, you just go to the daily chart, and this will say 1 day up here, and it hits once per bar close. And then you'll still have to manually do it, but it will let you know that, yeah, it has closed below, and you can go manually close your trade. For 2 4-hour candle closes, which I generally prefer if I'm trading the 4-hour because it gives me a confirmed close below, you'd have to do this twice. So once you get your first alert, you basically turn it on again, turn that alarm on again, and get going. So yeah, once per bar close. That's an easier way than sitting here. I mean, you could set your alarm clock and for every 4 hours on your phone or something and come back and check it, but this is just the easy way to do it. So, but getting back to this, if I were to go long here, so you want to have a good risk reward in your trade. You have to ask yourself first, is it a scalp? Is it a swing trade? If it's a scalp, you're going to probably close a large position near this 68.60 to 69.50 zone. We've already talked about it, right? If it's more of a swing trade, then your risk reward on this only really makes sense if you put your stop below this 236. You have to ask yourself in a trade criteria, is it going to be a once per 4-hour candle close, twice per 4-hour candle close, or a daily close? What's your stop? Okay, I can't decide that for you. I would probably be more likely to do 2 meet in the middle, 2 4-hour candle closes. I really don't want to lose that zone because to me that's the immediate bull bear line. But if you were going to go long here on a swing trade, to me it only makes sense that that is your stop. First off, below the 236, because you're playing within larger market structure, so larger market boundaries here, right? And then so that would be your risk side of your trade. Your reward side of your trade, to me, minimum would have to be, to make sense, would have to be the 0.5 fib at 71.70. But even better yet, you'd have to leave some open, take some profit up there to lower your entry price, and then the daily 200 moving average at would have to be your end goal target, like 71, 78, 98. So yeah, because again, if you a lot of times we'll make trades based off of the day chart, but we'll go to our 4-hour to find entry. I don't like this 4-hour kind of shooting star looking candle, but if you were to do it, this would be kind of the zone that you were going to do it in. And then you would have to ask yourself, all right, if it's a scalp, I'm probably out on a 4. Ooh, that's a good question, because there's that 4-hour 50 moving average right there. Welcome to trading. No easy answers here, guys. Probably a. Ooh, you know what? Here's what I do. This actually just became quite clear. A 4-hour close below this yellow line, and again, you could double click on it, go to alert, less than, once per bar close, create. There's your alert. 65.72, I believe. But we'll have to hover over this candle and see the low of it. 65.70, 50. So 65.70. Close below on a 4-hour candle, I'd probably be out, because I'd have to imagine by the time that it gets there, this 4-hour 50 moving average would probably be above it. Again, we're aiming here, but we're trying to line moving parts up, but it looks like a good center of confluence, and we would absolutely lose that trend line if we close below. So what kind of risk reward does that get me? It's not the best in the world. We're looking at a move to, let's say 60. Let's say we get in at 65.75, and we get out 66.75, and we get out 68.65. That is 3% to the upside. That's basically a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. That's not the best trade I've ever taken. But risk-reward ratio on trades aren't everything all the time. A lot of times, your risk-reward ratio can pseudo be upped by being near key support or areas of confluence with diagonal support lines, horizontal support lines, moving averages. I like that the 4-hour 20 moving average, 20 EMA, is parked within this ascending triangle trend line. And then we're above support that was resistance, and it's now acting as support. So you can have kind of a market structure risk reward on a trade, guys, that where support tells you, hey, it's probably pretty safe here to take it. Now your target might not give you the best risk reward ratio on a percentage standpoint ever, but knowing that you have this big confluence of support below, this is a little bit of a safer trade. So that's another way to look at it. Is this making sense? Yeah, we can do ZRX. Wallowitz, don't look at sell walls, man. They aren't your friends. You want to do ZRX USD? Sure. So I hope this is making sense, guys. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but I will always spend more time on Bitcoin than I will spend on any other coin because it is the dominant market driver. What is the Bitcoin dominance right now? 53.4%. Okay. So last time I looked, it was 53.3, so that 0.1%. Holy moly. Yeah, looks like it's rising. I think it's trying to. But yeah, right now, guys, you could like I have a guy in my private group that because of religion he can't trade on leverage. So I completely understand that. So he has to do Bitcoin trades just on regular exchanges because he can't trade what he can't own, what he doesn't own, basically, and that makes sense. Like, and I completely respect that. But for everybody else, like, uh, look, here's the thing. I hear people saying all the time, "Oh, newbies shouldn't get in BitMEX," and yeah, they probably shouldn't, but they're gonna do it anyway. Number one, it's like telling your kids that they can't drink in high school. Uh, they're probably gonna do it, um, unless they're just like really good kids and they hate alcohol. But like where I come from, it's like people try to tell their kids not just basic human nature says, oh, you shouldn't do this or you can't do it. Humans like to do it. It's just it is what it is. So with that, if they're gonna do it, I'd rather them do it under my watch. But there's big rules to BitMEX. It's like or to trading on leverage or even trading in general. First off, leverage doesn't give you more profits just because it's a multiplier. It gives you the ability to purchase more contracts. It gives you the ability to trade with more than you have. Okay? So you go 10x leverage with all of your account. You can trade with 10 times more than you actually have. Now there is a liquidation price to that, probably within $500, $700 to $600, to where you'll lose everything that you have, so the market can square up. But just because you trade with 10x leverage doesn't mean that you get 10 times the profits. It just means that you have 10 times the purchasing power. Okay, so but with a higher liquidation price. So, um, so be careful. Don't be getting super crazy. I don't recommend going more than 3x leverage usually, and know where your stop is. Don't just because you're underwater doesn't mean you can't close a trade. You have to allow yourself to make that back next trade. This trade's already gone against you. You got to make it back next trade. So be really careful, guys. And I typically won't trade with like I don't know 10% more than I should like of my entire account. Like so, just be careful. Just be careful. So let's get to ETH. ETH is in a really interesting spot right now. It's still under the 4-hour 50 moving average, and it's right at the 4-hour 200 moving average. Now, I had this trend line drawn here because this was the market structure that we were in. But a lot of times there's more. This isn't me just being subjective here. A lot of times there's more of there's a bigger picture taking place. And with this being a higher low and a bullish hammer reversal, I am fully fine with. Can you guys hear my neighbors landscapers mowing? It's like everybody messes with me. It's like 9 a.m. I'm in my house. I need to get an office or something, I guess. But but yeah, so let's call this a bearish pennant for now. But we're only on the 4-hour. We don't typically want to start with the 4-hour. So let's go to the day chart. Same shit. Nothing's changed. That's a lot of bearish volume, but it closes a bullish hammer reversal on the daily. So it's like, other than that, it's been more bull than bear volume. Just not seeing a lot with ETH that makes me excited, man. It looks like shit, to be honest with you. We could get a dead cat bounce here. If you can draw this pattern for yourselves, this is a bearish pattern. Just to let you know. Some will say it's like a symmetrical triangle, but coming out of a bear drop, it leans bearish, even though it's a neutral pattern. So I'm just going to call it I'm going to call it a bearish pennant, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So here's the thing. My 20 EMA on this, guys, is I need to take volume off here. My 20 EMA on ETH is right at, on the daily, is right at the downward diagonal resistance of this pattern. Okay? There's a good profit taking zone if you want to go long. That would be like 300, and it's right at like $300. Like, so right under $300. You could go long. Bitfinex, you can go on USD charts. Where would you be wrong? That's the problem. Um, it's pretty clear you'd probably be wrong at this point on a daily close below these real bodies. That's more of a hike and ashy play, but I don't know if I'd be willing to stay in it any longer than that. Like, this ETH doesn't look good, and I'm kind of lining up and trying to see if the alt market is kind of decoupling itself from Ethereum. Um, Sounds crazy. I'm not willing to go there yet, but you have all these other alts popping. ETH and ETH BTC both look like shit. There's no demand for Ethereum because there's no real ICOs going on right now in the United States. ICO season has gone to shit. Nobody cares about ICOs anymore. People are starting to realize these scammy ass projects. So it's not that ICO season can't come back around again. I think we need a better regulatory construct or framework in the United States for that. But and a lot of these ICOs are still selling their ETH, and they're going to be selling them into these bounces. So um, I'm not remotely bullish on ETH right now. Like, I'm not remotely bullish. I'm not ready to call it a bottom. I am willing to miss most of this move. If you wanted to go long, I recommend that you take some profits right under $300, not at $300. And normally right under $300 would mean something like $299.50 or 40 cents or 80 cents. I don't know. I'd be more willing to say like $297. Front run that level and get the hell out while you can. Um, Even line it up with this downward trend line here. Other than that, like, and I'm not even sure the risk reward is there for that play. I would just probably just stay out. It looks like shit, and here's why it looks like shit. Like, this is a bearish pattern, right? Um, it's bearish leaning at the very least. Some will call it a bull pennant. Some will call it a symmetrical triangle. The the bearish pennant, like 2/3 of the time, breaks bear. The symmetrical triangle is a neutral pattern, but in a bear trend, it's a bearish leaning pattern. So um, you could short it up here if you wanted to try to make some money. Short it right under 300 bucks. Like, I'm all about that because your risk reward is going to be like a daily close above the 20 EMA. You'll probably get stopped out. So Um, but we've still got all these horizontals to test on ETH. So let's draw a horizontal on ETH right here. And what did it really line up with? Not a whole hell of a lot, to be honest with you. It kind of looks like no man's land. So, I mean, if we fib the entire chart, it's still under the macro 7A6. Ugly as shit. It doesn't look good. Oh, and look, here's another bear case. That daily 20 EMA and this pattern resistance is right at the 7, it's like right near that 786. Like, that's a gigantic area of macro confluence. So I don't like ETH's chart. It looks like shit, like straight up. And we have all these alts that are going crazy right now. Are they dead cat bounces? Well, in a bear trend, each time you probably have to say yes, except for like first bounces with velocity off of a macro 786 after a big bull trend. You can get a 2x to a 3x. But other than that, like, you can't expect like alt season is going to start right now. Like, I just can't go there. It could. I just can't go there though. And you want, like, if you want to see if alt season is starting right now, you need to be looking at coins like Icon and Nano that were like the first preliminary coins to go psycho um, on the bounces and see how they follow through these crazy levels. Like right now, Icon is it bounced off the daily 50 moving average and almost the 88 macro 886. That's it. So there you go. And you want to see that turn as support. But this big candle right here, I wouldn't want to lose more than 50% of it. However, we could just do a fib from bottom to top, and 50% is right below this yellow line. I know it's hard to see for you guys. 11,000 sats. You could get a wick or a real body touchdown there and then bounce off, but you don't want to lose 11,000 sats. So 11,000 sats on icon is your bull bear line. Other than that, I probably wouldn't be trying to go long here unless you want to begin averaging into a long-term portion because the project is on fire and it's going to go absolutely psycho. In the future, when, we'll see. But we need to get back to ETH BTC. I am still lining up this big ass circle on this long-term trend line. Look at that. I'm still lining it up around, like, at the very worst, this 886 of the bottom of this drop to the top of this market cycle. The macro 886 is 0.0349, so we'll call it 0.035. I would absolutely put bids there. But also on this trend line, it does have multiple touches, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the 5th touch. So it's a real trend line, and that on this trend line would be somewhere around 0.0365 to 67-ish. So you could put some bids there and also put some bids at 0.0351. Front on that level just a little bit on that 886. It's not going to hurt. It can't hurt. So we could get a bounce there. After that, Ethereum has got basically this 0.236, 0.237, 0.0237-ish zone. And then after that, I don't know what to tell you. But after this extreme sell-off, guys, we should get a bounce in this confluence zone. And I'm leaving that circle there. So if you guys were wondering how to draw this yourself, how to draw this chart yourself, because it looks like a lot, it's basically, you can go back and watch this. Like if I were to trash this chart right now and delete everything, I'm going to take off my moving averages so you can see it. So you can see how I'm drawing this. It's going to be, and I'll make it the 3 days so these candles are easier to see. First off, you always want to draw a market structure. So your market boundaries, market structure, market boundaries basically. Draw it from here. There you go. The 3 day is going to look a little bit different. So on the 3 day chart, if you go to the real bodies, we've lost support. If you go down to here, which this is what the 1 day chart tells us is prevalent, we're going to stay right there. So there's our top boundary line. Sorry if you guys can hear that leaf blower out there. They should be done shortly. Welcome to living in the city. There's our market structure, so our market boundaries. Come on. Stop it. You want to draw a couple things. You could draw from the bottom to the top, but that's a previous market cycle. So is it prevalent? When there's a macro 786 right there, and the market has respected it before, so there's even more confluence. So we'll make that pink. And then I'm going to do bottom of the previous market cycle to the top of this one. Bear with me, I'll make it visible for you. And then I do like the trend-based Fibonacci. If you're wondering what that is, on TradingView on the 3rd category, I guess, down here is trend-based Fibonacci extension. And so it's 3 points, whereas with the trend-based, or with just a regular fib retracement or extension, it's 1 point to the second point, and it draws it from there. This would be like 1, you click it here, 2, and then click it again for the 3rd one. So how are we going to draw that this time? We're going to go from the top of the previous market cycle to the bottom of that market cycle to the top of our most recent market cycle. And now we're looking for fib confluence. There's books on this. And so There we go. The 786, guys, the only thing with this trend-based Fibonacci extension or retracement, the top, bottom, top, is you have a 786 a little bit below this horizontal line at this 0.023-ish that we just talked about. Other than that, there's not a ton of confluence. We are going to delete that. But it is important that you guys draw those sometimes to find fib confluence. So with this, we have our trend line. This is our macro 786 at this line, 0.0383. Our trend line, and then below that, it's like 0.03. I say front run the 0.035 level, just by a little bit. And then you see all of this confluence of support. And we buy pullbacks. If you're buying micro pullbacks, if you're buying macro pullbacks, it doesn't matter. We're buying pullbacks. We don't buy into pumps. So how do you do that? You find fib confluence with horizontal and diagonal support lines, and this is what you get. All right, there's your little lesson for the day. So let's get going. On Icon, guys, we'll look at it one more time. 11,000 sats. Just draw that line at 11,000 sats and don't lose it. Basically, is all I'm telling you. You don't want to lose the 0.5 fib. That's your immediate bull bear line. Let's see if we have questions. Yeah, it's because I do it in the morning, these streams in the morning, so that's why my neighbors are. So, okay, so let's go to Litecoin. I'm liking Litecoin. On a small move. No, 4 hour. My computer's being so laggy. I need to update it or something. And here's why. Like, forget everything else here. I'll put the moving averages back on, but it's not even that like crazy necessary. We're 4 hour moving average. We're not bullish, but the 20 is above the 50. They're super coiled. So when you see big coils like this on your moving averages, like your 20 and your 50, it tells you a big move is coming. And if I were to put on Bollinger Bands right now, it's probably super coiled. Super tight. Yeah, it's tightening up big time. So there's a risk reward that I like with this trade. I think it's very nice. Pretty much, you got to find your trend line that you like here, okay? And it's not always easy when you have these big bottom wicks, because where am I going to draw this to? Gosh, you could draw it to here. Looks like the market's respecting it. So where would my stop be? Really simple. Let's say you want to enter right here on the 20 EMA. Like you could do it right here. My stop is always going to be a horizontal. On the best risk reward trades, it'll be a horizontal level below a diagonal trend line with the 20 and the 50 moving average parked inside. If I can get the 20 EMA and the 50 simple moving average parked inside and locked inside of the trend line, the ascending trend line, to me, that is that's like one of my most pristine moves. So we have an ascending triangle here. Some would say that we have a flat rising wedge. That's fine. That would give us a higher target. Some would say it would be a descending triangle. That's fine if we break out, or like a symmetrical triangle slash bearish pennant. If we break out to the upside, we're good. If not, we don't lose much on the downside. But here's the thing. This move up to this horizontal level here would give us, from right now, would give us a 9% move versus a 2.5% loss. Okay, 9.3%. It's like a 3.5, almost a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. But not only is the risk reward ratio on a percentage there, but that what I was talking about earlier with it's not always just about your risk reward ratio. I mean, it is, but it's not. When you have really key support, that gives you a great risk reward from a market structure standpoint. This has both. This has the percentage, 3.5 to 4 risk reward ratio is perfectly fine, normal to take a trade. Ideal is like 10 to 1, but like, how often do you get ideal? But that's a really good risk reward ratio. And then also from a market structure incentive, this trade is not half bad. So I would probably, with how coiled these are, guys, I would be probably less inclined to do anything more than a 1 hour or than 1 4-hour candle close below, because so less than, create, less than, once per bar close, create. Because this is so coiled, the next explosive move is going to decide what we do. Get out of here, you little shit. And I think you can get a nice little flipperoo up to this horizontal resistance. So let's look at the daily. Is there any moving averages up there? Are there any moving averages up there? The 20, but I'm not as worried about the 20 as I am about the 50. Because this was basically, this move right here was basically one big candle close. I can just see it without even looking at it. Bull div. A gigantic daily bull div. This tells me a rise is probably in store, or at least if I have the risk reward ratio for a quick swing like this, that with having that daily bull div telling me that the selling is slowing down, that I could probably get a move to at least, yeah, this market structure right here. But you could even leave some open and try to get to 69.60. Now, if Bitcoin goes to 71.80 ish, you could get a move to 69 on here. I think Litecoin would be outperforming it at that point, so maybe not. Maybe you need a move to Bitcoin's daily 200 moving average at 78.98 to get this move up here. But again, extend your trend line, move your stop up, take some profits at this zone, and see what happens. That's trading. You're hitting a moving target. LTC, BTC, it probably looks like shit. It's probably going to keep looking like shit. I haven't looked at it in forever. I can't imagine that it's anywhere near desirable. Yeah, it looks, oh geez, it looks like ass. I don't want anything to do with that chart until I saw a little move off this zone though. But break even stop. Yes. I don't want anything to do with Litecoin, Bitcoin until the macro 886 of this entire market cycle. So we're looking at 0.076, 0.0076, 0.00759, like right there. I don't want anything to do with Litecoin, BTC until that. There might be a bull div on the 3-day. I doubt it. Yeah. I mean, the 3-day is at 18.77. But I'm looking for, and all this means, guys, it doesn't even necessarily mean that Litecoin is bearish. Now, we know Litecoin has been bearish, and I'm not calling for mega bull on Litecoin right now. You guys know long term, I'm in love with Litecoin. I think it's going to go psycho. But all the LTC BTC chart, it doesn't mean Litecoin's US dollar value is going up or down. It just means that Bitcoin is doing better versus Litecoin in terms of a percentage gain on the dollar chart. So it's Bitcoin's price divided by Litecoin's price, and here you go. Now, there is a market built around that, but it respects the US dollar market, so there you go. Now, what's next? We're going to look at TRX, Jared. You little shit. Hope you're feeling good, brother. I hope your fantasy draft went well. Make sure you guys like the video. Damn it. Ooh, baby. Ripple. I said in the private group last night, Ripple looked ready to boom boom in either direction, but I wasn't going to make a call. I thought I was a little bullish, but I wasn't ready to make a call because it's Ripple. All right. Let's go to the day chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart first. So Ripple's holding this 618, right? It's holding this 618. Awesome, cool, great, grand. I'm gonna delete this, and then we're gonna go out to the 3-day chart slash. Now we'll go to the 1-day chart. It'll be a little more zoomed in. There we go. So Ripple, guys, it's no coincidence that it's slow creeping this orange line. This is a gigantic falling wedge, and I think this will be really bullish for Ripple if I extend this macro Fibonacci retracement here. It kind of sound like a male version of Stewart's mother on Mad TV right there. Got a big bull div. Big bull div. I'll delete that. That could be RSI support, but I don't like doing RSI support off bull divs. Anyways, you see if we draw from this bottom wick down here, all the way down, try to respect it right there, got below, false break below, and now price is respecting it. And it's right on that line telling me there's a great risk reward. I got a risk reward trade for you here. Okay? A daily close below 4,800 sats on Ripple is a get the fuck out. Your first target, probably somewhere around 5,600 sats. Should meet this daily 50 moving average. It's like that easy. It's like a really good risk reward trade. But it's still Ripple versus Bitcoin. So we would have to look at the USD chart on Ripple because, oh wait, it's not Ripple, it's XRP. It's not Ripple. Ripple has nothing to do with the success of XRP, says the Ripple fanboys. Oh, really? I'm still looking for 3,600 sats at this macro 886 Fibonacci retracement for Ripple, though, long term. Before, like, I'll leverage balls deep that level. Because it'll still pump. It's Ripple. Like, people like Ripple. So we have to look to see if we can even get a bullish move on the BTC pair for Ripple. Since it's at key support, we do have to look at the USDT chart and see if it's in the cards. Well, it looks like the pattern is in confluence with the BTC chart. That the BTC chart's a falling wedge. This is a thing. Bullish pennant. So I want to see if we would get a measured move on this. So the move to the upside would be the same size as the flagpole. Doesn't have to be a flag to have a flagpole. Pennants can fly on flagpoles too, dicks. All right. On the day chart, does that run us into any levels? Yes, it does. I always talk about climbing out of a hole in a bear trend. And a hole would be right at the next drop. That would take us right to that zone, 45 cents, 44.5 cents. And good luck, fam. I would probably scale out quite a bit near the 50 moving average at 39.6 cents. So yeah, it gives us room for this move. I'd say the USD chart and the Bitcoin chart for Ripple are both in confluence. Now, where are you wrong on the USD chart? We'll zoom into the 4 hours. Pretty simple. Probably there's got to be a fib below that. It had to have respected a fib because that still keeps us within market structure. Yep. No, that's fine. Below 31 cents. That's your 0.5 fib. I don't want to be on it. I don't want to be in it below the 0.5 fib. Like I just don't. Like I'm cool on that. So where would I enter if I wanted to as a trader? I'm not a big fan of entering mid pennant, but since it bounced, I love pennants that bounce off the 25 fib. Probably on this trend line here, and you're losing 3% on if you get stopped out, and your risk reward ratio on, I mean, and you're trying to gain almost 40%. So it's like it's a 13 risk reward ratio, and there is room for this move. Now it's a little bit more dangerous from a market structure side because like your boundaries in your market, because there's still room to come back and bounce off this fib, this 0.5 fib. So what would you do? You wouldn't enter all of your position right here. You could scale into a larger portion of your position at the 0.5 fib, so like 0.312 or 0.313 on the US dollar chart, and average down your price. And then at that point, you're not even risking 3%. You're probably risking closer to 1.5 to even 1% because you always put your heavier bids lower down the order book so that you can average down on a percentage scale more than just going 50-50. Oh, 50 at the top of my order ask, 50 at the bottom of my order ask, like percentage wise. So yeah, I think the risk reward is there for this trade. Again, it all comes down to Bitcoin though. So make sure you're monitoring Bitcoin. These moving averages on the 4-hour are absolutely coiling. So it's telling you volatility is incoming. Now, what did the volume off the bounce look like? That's a lot of bullish volume. That gives me a lot of hope on this, boys and girls. It's a lot of bullish volume. Poloniex doesn't get bullish volume like this. And again, I'm charting Poloniex because they have the most history on the Ripple chart. And the BitMEX chart is pegged to the Poloniex chart. Now, market movements can be different, but that's what they peg it to. So good luck. You guys are learning how to trade. Check my Twitter. All right. Noah, can you also chat a bit about your visit to the conference and outlook on market for coming weeks or months? The market is irrespective of what happened at the conference. I'm bullish on the industry long term. There's just a lot of infrastructure being built, and I was blown away by the power of the minds that are coming together and the quality of the people that are coming together. Um, I met more than just crypto traders out there. So um, the infrastructure that's being built, these are powerful people. These are very, very smart people that are dedicating their business lives to getting this industry off the ground and get it up and running. And there's just a lot of the conversations that I had also that I can't necessarily share with you. There's a lot of bullshit happening, and I'm expecting a psych. I'm expecting at least a $5 trillion market cap at the top of next bull run. I mean, it's just like shit's gonna go psycho, and if these ICOs die, if a lot of these ERC20 ICOs die, then the ICOs and the blockchains that projects that are actually quality, they're gonna absorb a ton of their capital and buying power. So fractals are they're legitimate, okay? Because markets, the reason fractals are legitimate is because markets are a um, visual representation of human emotions, and human emotions always repeat because humans are humans. They do the same shit in the same situations in mass quantity. So fractals are legit. Now, a fractal doesn't need to paint exactly, and Fibonacci levels can be a completely different looking chart. You can get a V bottom or a rounded bottom, right, off of a key macro Fibonacci retracement zone. Fibs will help you learn the boundaries of a fractal. Like a fractal doesn't have to repeat exactly the same way, but it can repeat in the same type of way, if that makes sense. So don't be so by the book. An EOS fractal. I mean, what did it bounce off the 618 at this most recent market cycle? I'll have to check. But yeah, fractals can be legit. So let's go to the next coin. Nano. Nano went psycho. I mean, and this is a Nano's max. Look at that 4-hour 20 EMA. Nano's max supply is already out in the market, so there's not an inflationary schedule, guys. It's something to be important or to be to know. Know your token metrics, even though it's not necessarily a token, it's a currency. Look at that fucking move. Would you stop? My computer's being so slow. All right, let's go to the day chart. Let's try to. Goodness gracious. Look at that volume, man. Look at that volume. That's what a bullish reversal looks like. I got to take this volume off. And then something I like to do is I like to see where it reversed at. It could continue going. The day close isn't done yet, or we could get some consolidation. All right, that makes sense, doesn't it? Support turned resistance. Wow. I don't have, guys, I can't fib this entire chart because it used to be Ryblox, and Ryblox went on like a 32,000% move last all season. And so any fibbing that I do here isn't going to be accurate. I just don't have the right data inputs. So I got to work with what I got. And what I got is a bottom of this bullish hammer to the top of this candle. It puts the bids at the 4-hour, at the 1-day 20 EMA when it catches up, but the 0.5 fib 34,375 sats would also be a good area. It'll respect this 0.5 fib on the way down, first try. Mark that down in your notebooks. Let's get the 4-hour with this fib up. 50 moving average is right there. It'll get above by the time price gets there. There's this a low volume sell off on the 1-hour. Yeah, it was. This bullish candle to buy it up. I could even see you guys putting bids at the 382 at 40,000 sats. But again, you're buying into a pump. I'd rather buy a 0.5 fib pullback. If we look at the daily, I want to see what this had to have fucked with the cloud. Like, I wonder if the Kijun is right there. Has it even printed a cloud yet? No, it's way above all of it. It closed within the daily cloud for 2 days, though. If this Kijun enters the daily cloud, and you can buy it there, I probably would. 35k sats. 34.5-ish. But yeah, it looks good, man. I don't want to see it lose its 0.5 fib. Nano's kind of the great hope for an alt season right now. All right, what's next? ONT. We're going to look at ONT and VET. Put a call out to the private group last night. Let me brag a little bit. I want to open Discord. We got under 35k on this breakout retest. Buy it right there. Boom. Here we go. So ONT's looking good. A lot of volume. A lot of volume. Our target, 40k sats, and then like 43k sats, and then 56k sats after that. If ONT wants to go psycho. So it's looking good, man. I'm liking it. I like it a lot. You can buy it on this 4-hour 20 EMA on a pullback. Other than that, let it ride, baby. It's looking good. Not a lot to say. I just gave you the numbers. So vet, huge ascending triangle. Nah, that's not an ascending triangle. That's a fucking pennant. But yeah, it might come back down and retest this zone and then continue on. So if you wanted to buy 235 sats-ish, 234, crawl down this line. What was the volume? Still significant, but not world changing. I think Vet's got a bigger move at store though. I really do. That wasn't the door. That was my coffee cup, you idiot. Nobody's knocking. Come here. Lay down. Jordy, that was my coffee cup on the table, dum-dum. You're going to give yourself a heart attack waking up like that. So if we were to look at the Venn chart, Bubs, don't fuck my... Come on. My charger's right there, babe. You want to say hi to everybody? It's here. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down, baby. There you go. Daddy, make a spot for you. Yeah. That's a good girl. She always lays behind me. It's so cute. Look at her. Can you see her? Here. Look at the baby. Go on, baby. Let's go to the Venn chart to try to find a target. I mean, for me, a pretty obvious target on this, but it's really kind of not. Like, it's getting hung up at this zone right here, but would be like, all right, obviously 300 sats, but then like is this 325, I believe? Let me move this. No, it's not. 337 up in this zone. Go to the Venn, look for macro fib levels. I wish they could just like find a way to mix these charts. I hate it when you get different ticker symbols, like you rebrand and then you lose. Yeah, 325. That's why I thought 325 is the macro. This computer's so slow right now. It's a macro 618, and that's also support turned resistance. So like if you get a chance to sell it at 325 sats, I'd take some profits. You could try to buy it back at 234 at the bullish pennant breakout retest. But we could get an explosive move on this. It's just that's what the chart looks like right now. There's not a lot of other resistance. I mean, this doesn't even give me what the 50 and the 20 or the 50 is because I can't mix these charts. So I feel like I'm shooting blind here, guys. So forgive me. I can't give like the most outlined trade in the world because I don't have the full chart data. So I feel very unprepared. Thoughts on XLM? Says Arnaud Francois. All right, let's look at Strat. We're going to start doing the requests now. And chill out with I got a lot to do here. So. Little shit. You just stay still for 5 seconds. Holy moly. Oh my god. Strat's going right back to the floor, which means it's going to pump again. Because it's actually a good project. Jeez, man. Unbelievable. It's down 20x from its all-time highs. Crazy. It's at the 1.113. Did it get down there? Yeah, it did. Yeah. On the 14th of August it did. I mean, here's the thing. That's quite the move. That's a 30 to 33% move back to the daily 20 EMA. And all right, we need to zoom in to like the 4 hour and see if we're getting any kind of, yeah, we keep getting these ascending triangles across the board, like straight up. Something like that. And then obviously something like that. So like we keep getting these ascending triangles. It's like all this shit looks the same. So you take some profits around the 4 hour 20 moving average of 26,500 sats. You need to do that if you're in profit. And then your next level would be like 32, almost 33,000 sats. I'm sorry. Your next level would be, yeah, the 50-day moving average. So no. So like 29,500 sats and then 32,000 sats. And then that's going to be resistance there. We could talk about a move to the 200 moving average at 53,000 sats, but we're just not ready to go there yet. So you'd obviously try to buy this. It's at the 20-day EMA right now, so I probably wouldn't buy this right now. You could try to buy out on the ascending triangle trend line around 21,800, 22,000 sats. And then your stop, you'd be taking a little bit of a loss, but your stop would be on a daily close below 20,000 sats. So there you go. Long term, I can't tell you anything else. It's just is what it is. This looks like a daily bull div. Was it? Yes, it was. I can always tell. Yes, it was. Pretty significant. That gives more, just like the XRP trade, it gives you more credence to a rise. Metal. The project that may or may not be out of money. I can neither confirm nor deny. I wouldn't fuck. You could buy some, but I just like. I think Bittrex delisted it, so I don't even know what market it's been on for the longest time. You could buy some. I would just look elsewhere, to be honest with you. I don't even want to look at it because it's just like it's not worth it, man. Looks like death. There we go. Told you guys for the longest time, ADA wants to come down and test the 1313 zone. It hasn't touched it. It still could. We do have a daily bull div right there. And shit, man. Get rid of all this bullshit here. It's no longer prevalent. I'd long it as close to 1313 as I could get. After that, you're looking at like 922. What's the hourly look like? Looks like a descending broadening wedge. Or if you want to be super optimistic, a long falling wedge. But it's not in macro fib support. Only thing that's really got it going for it right now. And you could say, oh no, this was already a breakout. And yeah, you probably wouldn't, maybe you wouldn't be wrong, like something like this. But like, I don't know, what's the USDT chart say? Because this isn't giving me a lot, guys. Okay, so the descending triangle, almost. More of like that symmetrical triangle slash bearish pennant thing. Something like that. That would say it broke out, but that's not much of a pattern. Oh, whoops. Yeah, it's not giving me a lot, guys. I just go to the day chart and see if it's got macro fib support in the USD. It doesn't have shit. ADA, Bittrex, USDT. It's lost the 1272. Yeah, it's just like, is there any volume? It's more bullish volume than bearish volume. That's good. But again, we're speaking about Bittrex. What about the volume on ADA USDT on Binance? More bullish than bearish. That's fucking good. And just the price action right here looks like one big divergence. It is. And it's within a gigantic falling wedge. So you would draw this one of two ways. Right there, or straight down the line. And it's broken out from that. And there's your support line. Okay, well, we might have found something here. I wouldn't want to lose it below the support line. There's just, I mean, we're hunting right now, right? Like, this is how you hunt a chart, and there's not a lot of fibs to be playing with. There's definitely not going to be any cloud. It's basically market structure, looking for bull divs, looking for volume patterns, and that's about all you get. Like, there's not a whole hell of a lot going on here. So, you could buy some. Don't lose it below this trend line, or at least below 8.68 cents on a daily close. Don't stay in. Capiche? Not a lot else to say on ADA. I'm sorry. I would be more comfortable trading the USD chart than I would be trading the Bitcoin chart right now. That's for sure. Let's look at Tron. For all you newbies out there, here's your ascending triangle, or at least a higher low. That's all an ascending triangle means. It was a higher low that hasn't broken resistance yet. So like the real body area of this is like bang, like right there. It's pretty much an ascending triangle. You, Now, I always talk about when on the 4 hours when my 20 and my 50 are trapped in between my diagonal support, I really like that. If Tron loses 300 sats again right here on like a horizontal off this level, it's toast. Does that give us room for 300 sats on a horizontal? It's probably a better way to draw it. It almost got to the macro 886. I believe it was like 250. Yeah, 260 it got to. Some asshole had to have been high volume. It wasn't. What? All right, what's the day chart say? There's got to be a larger pattern playing out here. There you go. That's what makes sense. Your macro target on this, since it was a move off of 886, would technically be the macro 0.5 because 886 goes to 0.5, but that's looking at 1,034 sats, and I'm just not going to fucking go there right now. There's not enough volume for this. There's not enough volume to support this. I would not take anything to do with have anything to do with this trade because there's no volume. And still not over the 20-day EMA. Get back to me in Tron in a day tomorrow. We'll look at Tron again tomorrow. I'm not ready to call anything yet. I'm definitely not ready to have you take a trade yet. It's like a Verge. Can't bounce off the 0.93. Get rid of this there. Bounce off the macro 0.93. So like a falling wedge or a bull flag. Depends on the flagpole. Yeah, it's a falling wedge. Somewhere around there. Call right there. You could call this kind of like an Adam and Eve bottom, but I wouldn't because the Eve isn't low enough, and it's definitely not a cup and handle because that's a continuation pattern, not a reversal pattern. no volume. I mean, if I'm trading, guys, I'm not buying this. I know it bounced off the macro 0.93, but there's just no volume. There's not even volume on Binance. It had a little bit of a Bittrex volume move, but you zoom in, it looks good, but then you zoom out, it looks like shit. It's like, look at all these major rises. Up here, tons of volume. Up here, tons of volume. Big ass market cycle, tons of volume. There's just none right now. I can't do anything with it from a risk reward standpoint. Not to mention, I don't even like the project personally. We can have differing views on that. I'd probably just stay out, man. We'll revisit it tomorrow. Civic. There's only one reason I would ever buy this shit coin. It's because it's near all-time lows. No volume off this bounce. What about on Binance? Fucking looks like bot trading, but no volume breakouts from the volume moving average. Like I'm all right. Like I couldn't even tell you anything on this. Like it's just not worth it. Stay out, dude. It looks like shit. It looks like it's gonna keep going lower. The volume is my clue to even give you any hope if you're holding, and I just don't have any. Not to mention it's an absolute shit coin. All right, when you say air, I imagine you're talking about AirSwap. It's AST though. Actually, I met somebody from AirSwap this weekend. If you're watching, Maggie, what's up? All right, so it bounced off all-time lows down here. This area down here. Did we get any volume? We got a little bit of volume. You gonna freeze on me? All right. A little bit, not much bearish volume. It's just you're only buying because it's near all-time lows. That's it. That's the only thing you're doing. I don't. There's almost nothing else to say here. I want to be the ever-present wizard for you and like have more to say. If it gets over this daily 50 moving average, we can start talking about AirSwap. So we're looking at like 1750. Until then, we don't have a higher high. We just have a bounce with maybe some volume. Thanks, Arnaud. Very excited. Hey, everybody say hi to, I think it was Tamer or Tamir. We hung out at the conference. It was a good time. We watched some fights. Watched the Logan Paul fight. Had a beer. Yeah, we can look at BNB. All right, that's the last request I'm taking, guys, because I've already been live for an hour and a half, and I still have 8 coins left. EOS. EOS was looking interesting to me. Kind of wanted to go long on the macro 886. The falling wedge hasn't quite broken out of the falling wedge yet, but it wants to. That's confluence that I like. Now, you were asking me, is there any resemblance to a fractal from April 10th? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I would think you meant March 17th and 18th, but that was a 618 bounce, and this is an 886 bounce, so no. I'm almost ready to go long EOS, though. Not there yet. On a falling wedge breakout at the macro 886. I think I'm almost ready to go long EOS. But not quite yet. EOS USD. Maybe we were talking about EOS USD. No, I don't see any. I mean, I'm assuming you're thinking this rise, like this rise, and then a round off of it, but no, because this was a 0.5 fib bounce, and this just looks like a bearish pattern. Not a lot on the USD chart gives me any hope. Unless that's a big ass bull div. It's not. It doesn't mean it can't. It can still round up and break out to the upside, like by all means, yes. Because this is horizontal support from the previous real body market cycle. So, like, yeah, that gives me hope. But I just need to see a little bit more. And that falling wedge breaking out on the BTC chart would be my signal to go long. Would also coincide with this getting above the daily 20 EMA, and then we're ready to rock. We can start talking EOS. So let's look at it tomorrow. It's almost ready. But we'll know more about BTC by then as well. Let's look at Pauly. Holy shit. It closed above the daily 20 EMA. It still got time to close above it again. That's all we need to see, and then we're ready to rock to the 50 moving average, 4,100 sats. Pauly looks actually kind of delicious. I shouldn't say that about a coin. But, oh no. No. Come on. Know your patterns, boys and girls. A rising wedge from hell. Ugh. So would it be caught by a 4-hour 20 EMA? Yes, it would. All right. All right. And you see a little bit more. Was there any volume? A little bit. All right, Pauly. I need to see you tomorrow too. I'm not ready to go there with you yet, but you look all right. Maybe on the 4-hour 20 EMA you can get a little something something. We'll see. I probably wouldn't take that trade though. It's just not there. There's a season for buying alts, and there's a season for saying no to a lot of alts, and this has proven to be a season to say no to a lot of alts. I know you guys might be bag holding. Do I think we'll get another one, another all season? Absolutely. Do I think it's happening right now? I'm not willing to say that. Just need to see more. We're still within pattern consolidation on all of these. Some are bullish, some are bearish. We're getting volume, like on Storm, but I'm not ready to buy it yet. There's nothing that says buy me other than like, oh, it's right at the 113 fib retracement, which I do like buying those, but there's nothing that's like, oh, buy me other than if we get another alt season, they should far exceed current prices, but who knows how long that'll be and what you'll give up in the meantime is in terms of opportunity cost. Like, I'm not even breaking RSI resistance here. I want to see it get above 50. Otherwise, you're buying into the green, guys. You have to understand, you're buying into the green, and then it could drop in your toast because this pattern leans bearish. ZRX USD. Well, let's look at BTC real quick. Oh, look where it's bouncing. You've got to be kidding me. This is a spot to buy it. With a stop. Come on, dude. This fucking computer. All right. With a stop below 100,000 sats. Just straight up. You lose 10%. You could gain the world. Kind of looks like a potential falling wedge, but the problem is that completes right above the 786. Ugh. Then you lose your long-term trend line. You could buy here. Stop below 100,000 sats. Like market stop. I don't think it matters. CRX doesn't look terrible on a BTC wise. It's that great support. How about Poloniex calculated by TradingView? It's been there longer. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I don't even need to do a whole lot here. You could just buy it, stop below 66 cents on a daily close. You still have this trend line below it though, so I don't love it. I'd probably be more likely to buy the BTC pair. Again, it doesn't matter what you're buying it with, you're still getting 0x, but I'd still be more likely to trade the BTC pair right now. If the BTC pair is going up, it means the USD pair is going up, so long-term hold. But if you're going to trade this with a stop, like, you're giving back %15 before you get stopped out. It's like really tough. And if you were to do it below 66 cents on like for your stop, like right here, you still have market structure on that long-term trend line. It's not a legitimized trend line yet because we only have 2 touches, but it's just like, man, is a risk reward here. It is locally maybe for a long hold, but I'm not sure there's a trade to be had on the USD chart within the way that I like to trade. Like, you're either disciplined or you're not. And I just couldn't take a trade on the USD chart. It's like a power. How? Don't you do it. Don't do it. Ah, you little piece of shit. All right, here's what we'll do. Here we go. We bounced off of all-time lows, and this doesn't even matter. And this was a bull div. And no volume. What about on Binance? No volume whatsoever. Hmm. Yeah. If 2500 set 2560 doesn't hold, we're looking at 1242 on power. There's no volume at this level. There's been no buying volume at this level. Selling has just decreased. Wish I had more to tell you. What's the 4 hours say? Definitely hasn't held the 0.5. 618. Just trying to get over the 0.5. Next spot would be 3021. But there's not a trade to take here. 618s go to 382s, and then what happens there determines the trend. There's just not a lot to tell you. Again, here's what you do. You stay out. If you're holding it, you should be good long term to get out, hopefully. I don't think it's a bad project, but like hang in there. But other than that, I can't tell you anything else. It just if it wants it doesn't mean it's not going to go up from here. Depends on what the market does, but I just can't. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. I'm a douchebag if I tell you to do something with this chart right now. Oh shit. Oh, Stellar. Why'd you do it, baby? So here's where we are with lumens. This long-term pennant broke down. We're retesting. It looks like we're getting broken down with the retest. Lost the 0.5 macro fib. This is where things could start to get ugly. I would not be buying lumens. Next spot to buy would be 2600 sats. And then if things really want to get ugly, 1555. It's lost long-term market structure. We had a 3 bounce trend line, so this was a very this was a prevalent trend line. The only thing that it can have to hold it and save it now would be to get back up, get back above, and then we can start talking. Other than that, you have your horizontals and the 618 at 2600 sats, 2593. Nothing to do. Don't try to catch a knife just to catch a knife because you like a project. This was that big 12 tweet thread I wrote. Don't worry about this shit. It's a long time ago. Breakdown retest of the trend line. Looks like shit. What's about USDT? Yeah, there you go. Retested this horizontal down here. Any volume? No. Price action actually probably doesn't look bad in like the 4 hour or the 2 hour. Really short term. You could say that's an inverse head and shoulders. I don't think it is. But like that almost looks like a bull flag. Try to break out. Next target would be like $104 to $107. You'd be wrong under 90, like 88. Like there's just again, wow, that's a theme. There's not a lot to do here. I'm sorry. They all look the same. We need to see more. It's not that they can't do well here and bounce. It's just there's nothing to show you anything to do. Like BNB still 160K sats, huh? Oh shit. Nice bounce. Breakdown retest. That's what happened to Stellar. And then it broke down again. Well, Stellar's far behind on this, but the chart looks like one big ass head and shoulders. Fuck that shit. You not only do you have left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, but the right shoulder came back and tested the long-term trend line and broke down. No, I'm all right on that. See ya in hell. I'm okay. I can't short it, so I have nothing to do with it. What's the USD look like? This is why my spidey senses are up on Lumens breaking that long-term trend line, retesting it and looking like it's getting denied because both BNB charts, like, what, did I draw a trend line? Oh, there we go. If it loses 998 again, goodbye. See you in hell. It's going to 585. Other than that, nothing to do. You guys having fun yet? Double bottom, maybe? Ugh. I already looked at EOS USD. I looked at XMR. Hey, yo, make sure you guys like this video. This is 2 hours of hard work for you babies. Come on, TradingView, don't freeze. All right. Let's look at Bitcoin one more time. If you guys are new around here, make sure you subscribe. I go live every morning. Nothing's really changed. All right. Look, guys, private group is open for registrations, for September. You just go to www.noahsarkofcrypto.com. No. There we go. Go to the premium group. Hit register right there. We've had a good month. Now I did have that conference and that wedding to go to, so I've been VC Vietico, you can watch this again, man. You can go back to the beginning right now. It's a little bit longer because we're getting caught up on all the markets, but yeah, you can go back and watch it. But private group registration is open. We've had a profitable month. I haven't been able to be around as much as I normally am because I had some traveling. We're good. Like, we're ready to go. So, BitMEX competition, I am at. Don't worry about these. These are emojis in the private group. That's why there's dildos. I saved all of these, and these are all. So don't get freaky with it, boys and girls. Um, let's see what the BitMEX competition. What's going on with it? Oh yeah, I haven't been able to trade like barely. I'm up 25%, but I just haven't been able to trade because I've been gone. But we got some people in here up 22%, up 37%, up 116, 34, and everybody's like sharing their trades and trading together and shit. So it's like I'm excited for more people to join this. And if you're going to be new into the, we're trying to 10x our balance. I'm excited to get back so I can finally trade now. I'm in 4th place and I haven't been able to trade. So bring it on. Anyways, make sure you guys subscribe on Twitter. Here's my Telegram channel. Make sure you're in my free Telegram channel. Okay? And I look forward to um, seeing you guys on my Instagram, Twitter today, Telegram today, private group for September. You know what's up. Make sure you subscribe. If you just got here, start the video over. You'll be able to watch it. So I love you guys. I'll catch you. Peace.